All right, welcome to another episode of Just a Few Things. I'm David Rogers, and this is the show where we talk about just a few of the really good things going on here at New Frontiers Church. Alrighty, well, it's time for some good in the world, and this is usually the part of the show where we highlight something good that's going on around the world. But this week, we're going to call it the Old Friends Edition, because we're going to circle back to a couple stories that we heard about back at the end of 2020. The first one I want to circle back to is our dear friend, Kavan the elephant. Now, if you can recall, Kavan the elephant was the only elephant in a Pakistani zoo that was in absolutely terrible conditions. So bad, actually, that two groups, one of which were led by the singer Cher, was able to and worked to get Kavan out of that zoo and into a Cambodian elephant sanctuary. Now, that was kind of where this story paused. But I checked in on it recently, and people are saying, the people who are working there are saying that Kavan is doing a great job making friends. And not only that, he's apparently caught the attention of one of the females over there. So Kavan might have a girlfriend at some point, which would just be great because I've really invested a lot of my energy into rooting for this elephant and his quest for love. So here's to you, Kavan. We hope to hear from you soon if you can talk, which you can't because you're an elephant. Anyways, I'll follow up on this story in the coming weeks if anything interesting unfolds. Now, the other old friend I wanted to reach out to or highlight was Oreo. You guys remember Oreo, the crazy cookie company that decided to make a doomsday bunker based on some reports of an asteroid that passed by Earth back in October? Yeah, I remember them too. I don't really know what I was thinking when I looked up what Oreo was up to these days, but I found out that in March, they're going to be releasing a strawberry frosted donut flavored Oreo. Just wanted to check out how they were doing, and I guess this is how they're doing. So, I don't know. Hey, if anyone ends up trying this Oreo when it comes out in March, please let me know if it's any good. I'd be very interested. I love strawberry frosted donuts from Dunks and other donut places, but I don't know if I would want a strawberry frosted donut cookie. So let me know if you end up trying it. But here's to you, Kavan, and here's to you, Oreo. Never change. All right, it is on to our weekly report, and I guess I could call this an Old Friends edition as well, because I was able for this weekly report to get on a Zoom call with our dear old friend Trevor Benna and see how he's doing at home up in New York State. So let's turn over to the tape from that and hear how Trevor's doing. All right, everybody. As you can see, we've changed set locations, and I have another guest. It's the Trevor Benna. Trevor, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, everybody.
Good to see you, man. Where are you calling us from right now?
Saratoga Springs, New York.
Saratoga Springs, New York, which is in eastern New York, not western New York, like I erroneously stated earlier. You know, we miss you a lot. How long had you been coming to New Frontiers Church before you moved back up to Saratoga?
Almost 7 years.
I've never known the answer to this, but how did you get connected with New Frontiers?
I found out about New Frontiers one night at a campfire with some random people, and I sat behind Rob Rugel, and that is history.
There it is. There it is. Wow, I love
I was
that.
living with Daniel Baker.
Oh man, okay. I love that story. I didn't know that. Well, 7 years, man. I mean, being a part of this family, it's really good to see. And you know, for everybody watching, Trevor and I have been talking beforehand too, just to see how he's been doing and things like that. And it seems like work is going really well up there, Trevor. Can you tell us a little bit about what caused you to move up to New York?
So after looking for years, I had an opportunity with my organization to actually transfer to the area where I grew up, where my entire family lives. So I took it and I moved.
Awesome, man. Work and family, like being close to that, and that's a great opportunity. You really feel like God has been a big part of this for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much God's been part of this. It blows me away every time I think of it.
That's great. And again, for those watching, Trevor has been speechless as we've touched upon this subject. And as we all know, to get Trevor speechless, it's really got to be something amazing. So God is doing a good work with Trevor up there. Before we go, Trevor, I just want to hear, what are some ways that we as your church family, because you're still a part of us, what are some ways that we can be praying for you?
I'd love prayer for continuing to adjust to the the new role I'm doing at work. As Gareth said, it's stretching me in all the right ways, and I just love prayer for that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, buddy. It was really, really good to see you. Hope to see you soon whenever we're all able to get together. I certainly hope that you're a part of it. And until then, cheers, buddy.
You too. I miss all of you.
Okay, it is testimony time with a Y because that was my creative decision. We have some great news to hear from our friends Evan and Tracy and Aggie. So I'm going to pass it over to the three of them so that they can tell us this news.
Woohoo! On Friday, we joined Agatha and became US citizens.
15 years ago, we dreamt that we would be coming to the USA, and after applying for the green card lottery and winning it, 5 years ago we came. We've lived here for 5 years now and are finally officially US citizens.
We're one of you now.
You can't get rid of us!
Uh-oh. It's time for Out There. I don't know why that's uh-oh. I just figured I'd start this segment with something that I didn't usually start segments with. But anyways, Out There is a part of the show where we look beyond Seacoast, New Hampshire to hear about something that's going on out there. And this week we're going to hear from John McGaw down at Church Without Borders to hear about the work they're doing in Cambodia. It's not related to Kavan the elephant. That's just a great connection for this episode. But John, over to you.
Hey everybody, my name is John McGaw. I'm the lead pastor here at Church Without Borders in New Jersey. And we have been ministering in the nation of Cambodia for close to 10 years now. And although most of our work there has been short-term and partnering with different churches and ministries in that country, we're excited to announce that we're going to be sending our first long-term missionaries into Cambodia this year. Their names are Jesse and Megan Stein. They were supposed to go a couple weeks ago, but unfortunately both Jesse and Megan got COVID back in November. And although they've both recovered and they're no longer contagious or anything like that, Megan is still testing positive for the virus. We're told that can happen for as long as 90 days after getting it. And so they're going to get tested again first week of February. And so we would just ask that you guys would pray that that test would come back negative so that they would be able to follow through with this call that God has for them in Cambodia. So thank you so much. And we appreciate your prayers, and we value the partnership that we have in the gospel with all the Confluence churches in this region. Love you guys.
Okay. That's it for me here at Just a Few Things. I thought this was a productive episode. Good to hear from old friends and good to hear some new things that are going on as well. Before we go, I do want to plug our weekly church meetings that are being hosted at Wednesday nights at the building at 7 p.m. Be sure to be there and be praying on Wednesday nights. We want this year to be a year fueled by prayer. Let's start off seeking the Lord and hearing what He has for us in 2021. And for all of you watching, have a happy weekend, and I will see you next week on another episode. Until then, happy weekend.